How you been, man? It's been a year.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to this. I enjoyed it last year, so I guess we'll do it again if you're willing. I'm willing. So
yeah,
and we'll talk with whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, last year I think we kind of really went over a lot of your path getting into where you landed here in Sturgis.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about it on the way over here. I was like, I wanted to ask you, what do you think your most memorable time ever in Sturgis was?
Probably the first year in
First year?
82 when they rioted in City Park and they burnt the porta potties because they wouldn't come in, and everybody was so rowdy they wouldn't come in and pump out the porta potties, so they tipped them over and burned them, and the cops wouldn't go in, so I think that's probably, that was my first year up here, and I mean, Sturgis was, it was pretty wild. Yeah. Still, I think there were like 26,000 people.
And so pretty much everybody was staying. There wasn't really a bunch of campgrounds everywhere and things like that.
There were some, and...
but that was the place to be, was City Park?
Oh, City Park definitely was what was happening. And there were still quite a few people that were renting out their houses and stuff. Yeah. And, that was the place to be. Yeah. Either there or Deadwood.
Deadwood?
Because, they still kind of run close together. They had Deadwood Days of 76 with the parades and the rodeos and all that. Yeah. And then the rally started.
Was the other cities, like your Hill City and Rapid City, were they much a part of the rally in that time, or was it?
Well, the people would stay in Rapid City.
Yeah.
But no, as the time went on, everybody was looking at Sturgis and they're going, well, if these people are making money, we can make money. And Sundance was pretty big at that time. And obviously Deadwood. And but Hill City and all those, they had people that were staying there, but there really wasn't much going on. They get up in the morning, leave, come back at night, and go to sleep. But now Hill City's got like a little mini.
Yeah, they got their own rally going on.
Yeah, they got a mini Main Street there.
Yeah.
And Spearfish, the same thing. They've got one street in down at the end of town there. They've got vendors set up, and they got bikes.
And then they have that gas station at the end of Spearfish Canyon that's always got tons of vendors at and whatnot. Yeah, it seems like you said, everybody started getting in on the money aspect of being able to sell some real estate, for some brand or some guy to come out.
Hill City has, like I said, a little mini Main Street, a little mini Sturgis there, and they have vendors set up at almost every gas stop in there. Yeah. Now, I mean, they might not be major vendors, but a lot of them are like pretty good T-shirt vendors.
Yeah.
Big, and some parts and accessories, but I don't know what they're charging them up at Hill City, what the rates are, I mean, it's got to be cheaper than Main Street. And I think that they looked around, everybody looked around and they said, hey, if Sturgis is making money and everybody's got to come through here, let's make money too.
Exactly.
So I don't know what they charge for vendor permits and stuff, but some of these places downtown, I don't know how they make any money because you got to buy your tax licenses, and permits, and your vendor spot and that. And even before you sell a T-shirt,
you're 10,
like
15.
$2,500 to $3,000,
My buddy used to set up right on the corner across from One Eye Jack's in the side of someone's yard. It was $13,000 to be there.
Cow.
And then, yes, you do have all the, what they call the Sturgis Mafia. They want their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, they probably still do it. I vended up here at the Sturgis Community Center with a company called Giants. I did it in 2000 and 2001. And you had to pay your taxes on Sherman Street there on the Sunday, and then Wednesday, and then the Saturday before you left. And if you weren't down there in the morning to pay your taxes, in the middle of the afternoon, there'd be the Sturgis tax people with a clipboard going, no, you didn't report your income here. You didn't pay your taxes. And they'd want the money right on the spot.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
I know there's an additional fee, like if it's a tattoo parlor, or a tattoo operation. Why?
Heading out, brother.
All right, get out of here. All right, guys.
All right, later, brother.
Okay.
We'll let them pull off. So we'll let them pull off that way if it gets super loud.
Yeah. Okay. They'll probably roll down out of it. Yeah, because actually when I would leave here, a lot of times we'd go to Spearfish and look around there, get something to eat. Then we'd take, I don't remember the highway now, 385? No, 685. I don't know. It runs from the middle of Spearfish. It comes out right at the bottom of the hill right before Newcastle.
Are you talking about the one that'll take you to Deadwood or the one that takes you down? Oh, Newcastle. That's like Wyoming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You come out right before Newcastle, and Newcastle's just south of there. You climb up and over the hill.
Yeah, isn't that the road that comes out of Lead and goes all the way out there?
No, that's 385. That goes to Custer.
Okay.
Yeah. That's 385. I'll tell you, if there's a road up there, I'd probably the motorcycle enthusiasts are such rowdies, I'll be honest. Still got that. I think he's got that. It looks like an FXR fairing, only no, he doesn't. He's changed it. You have one of those FXR fairings that's like 2/3 the size with
yes,
carbon?
Saddleman makes that.
Saddleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I had to make the choice this year of going to the Saddleman party or going to Keith Ball's deal on Friday night. And I always go to the Saddleman party.
Yeah.
And he had his on Friday night, and they revealed the 85th anniversary painting.
Oh, that's cool.
In his shop, and then Law Tykers took care of the refreshments and stuff.
Nice.
But I figured I have to support Keith.
Yeah. How far do y'all go back?
Not about 25 years.
Okay. Yeah.
About 25 years.
So about what?
2000.
Yeah. I guess it is 2025, right?
Yeah, it is.
So when did he stop being the editor of Easy Rider?
It had to be in the early 80s. I'm not exactly sure. I could look it up.
Yeah.
But Frank Keisler was on the staff of Easy Rider. So he was on it in like about 80 and 81 is when he joined. And when Keith left, then Frank Keisler took over. They tapped him for editor. And I think he was editor for quite a few years, maybe 4 or 5. I don't know. I'd have to look all this stuff up. My mind is not, I can't pop this stuff. I can't pop it out anymore. So I'm kind of like a computer running
the slow
Windows 98. Not even second edition. The 5.5-inch floppy instead of a 3.5. But then Frank left. Keith came back. I'm not exactly sure what happened. And I can ask Keith. I can't ask Frank because Frank passed away a few years ago. So can't ask him. But I stayed at his place in San Pedro, and then I stayed with him when I was out there in LA when he bought his place in Wilmington.
Yeah.
He bought the old Siemens Hotel, where the guys would come in to the docks, and they, be there like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
And they catch the next ship out. They'd stay there.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it had a little historical significance. And then down at the end of his street was like the only access from San Pedro to the ocean. So Keith thought that'd be a good place to buy because, they were going to redevelop that whole area.
Yeah.
And make it more accessible than that. I don't know. I think they're dragging their heels on it.
Yeah.
LA's broke. Okay. They don't have a pot to piss in. So, I think that kind of, I don't know if they're still doing it or not. Again, we'd have to ask Keith, so he can fill you in on all that.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny we talk about Easy Riders. When Dave Nichols became the editor, and I'm not sure, he was editor when I had my FXTT bike in Easy Riders. He was the editor, and I'm thinking that was like 2012 or 2013. A guy I graduated high school with is a musician, songwriter. He travels all over the country. He's been in a whole bunch of different groups and stuff. And he asked me one time, he goes, "Hey, do you know a guy named Dave Nichols?" I said, "Yeah, he's the editor of Easy Riders." He said, "Well, he's my next door neighbor." I said, "Yeah, well, tell him he owes me money for quoting me in his last book." Yeah. So, but that I'm not clear on the dates. I didn't have the dates all fucked up.
Yeah. I hear you. What was the first bike you had in Easy Rider magazine?
My bike that was called the FXTT.
What was that bike based out of? Like the whole.
It was I wanted to build. I had this Craft Tech frame hanging around.
Yeah. And
finally, Steve said, "Well, are we going to build this thing or not?" And I said, "Well, you know what I'd really like to build?" I said, "I'd like to build like a Texas Shortster." And I don't know if you know what that is.
I don't know.
They would take a rigid frame and they'd shorten it like 2 to 3 inches in the back section. And shorten up the wheelbase.
Yeah.
And then derake it a little bit. And then they'd race Class A like that.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like outlaw racing. And they call it Texas Shortster because that's where they came out of.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I shortened the back frame section 2.5 inches, and I lined up the bottom legs so it would raise the axle plates and lift the bike up, or lower the axle plates, and lift the bike up. And then I realigned everything and got it all straight, and went from there. It was a S&S shovel head and a 39 millimeter front end, and a Super Glide gas tank, the long peanut style.
Yeah.
And when I bought the tank, I got it on eBay, and the guy took pictures of it. They had a whole bunch of pictures, but he didn't take pictures of the one side. So when I got the tank, it was $50. So when I got the tank, I look and there was a sheet metal screw in the side of the tank. There was a hole in there, and he drilled it out, put a sheet metal screw in there. Yeah. So I had to take care of that. I moved the filler, put a flush mount in it in the tank. But when I got it, it was like metallic green. Yeah. And Steve's going, "Man, that is like the ugliest tank I have ever seen in my life." And I'm going, "Well, don't worry about it." I said, "This is just raw material." I said, "You'll think different, when I get it finished." Yeah. And he said, "I doubt it." And then when I finally worked it over, did the hidden mounts on it, like I say, the filler relocate and that. And he's going, that like fits the bike really well.
That's cool. Hell yeah.
And I got it on the cover too. I mean, it was down at the bottom of the cover. Yeah. But it was a good sized picture. And then I got the first feature in the magazine, and they always put like their premier bikes were always the first feature. Yeah. So when you got through with the table of contents and the columns and stuff, the first feature you went to was usually the one that they wanted to spotlight. So that's where it was. Yeah. And Lichter did the photography on it. He made the thing look fabulous. I mean,
this was when you were based out of Denver area?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because Mike was only a half hour from me.
Yeah.
And it was Mike that insisted I put it in Easy Riders. I said, okay.
That's, that's still like probably one of my goals is to, hopefully the Easy Rider magazine continues to go on, and then I can, that's one of the things I want to get,
Well, it was with me too. I mean, I have the first, I have the Easy Riders from like the very first issue.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw it on the newsstand, I grabbed it. I go, man, this is an unbelievable magazine.
Yeah.
And I bought them. I have them all up to the issue that they did the coverage on the 95th anniversary for Harley Davidson. Okay. And after that, I didn't. There was nothing in there I really wanted to see.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the editorial content anymore, so I just quit buying them.
Yeah, yeah.
But that being said, because I had bought Easy Riders ever since the first issue, and it had always been one of my goals to get a bike in Easy Riders.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter to me when Mike said, "Well, we're gonna send it to Easy Rider," and it didn't matter to me at the time. I said, "Well, I got a bike in Easy Riders finally."
Yeah.
I checked that off my list.
Yep.
It was like trying to get a bike into the Grand National Roadshow show in Pomona, California.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to get in that show, because you got to send in your application, you got to send in, right, left photos, front, back. Same thing with the cars. They cut the bikes off at 75 entries. And that's not a lot in Southern California. I mean,
yeah.
75 bikes is not anything.
Yeah, it's a bike night.
Yeah. And they accepted my application. And that was like good enough for me.
Yeah.
Just to be on the floor at the Roadshow show. That was another one of my goals. And I did it, and I won the chopper class. So
oh, that's fucking cool.
To boot, So that was another one off my bucket list. Check that off. And what else you want?
So how many did you said you ended up having 3 features in Easy Riders with 3 different bikes, or what was it?
No. I said Mike had shot 3 of my bikes.
Mike shot 3 of your bikes, yeah.
One for Easy Riders, and then Frank Keisler shot that one. The one he shot the Chrome Nun, the one that's in the museum, the Sturgis Museum. He shot that one for Street Chopper.
Okay.
And then the third one, I can't remember. Well, anyways, there were 3.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd have to go down because I got all the magazine feature plaques.
Yeah.
And I'd have to go through the plaques and go, oh, yeah, here it is.
There it is, yeah. Yeah, I miss the days of the magazines, man. They were, obviously they're still around. They're more nostalgic now. I've been collecting old ones. I pretty much got the 80s and most of the 90s summed up of all the magazines, the Easy Riders, but a couple 70s here and there. But they're getting kind of hard to find. You know what I mean?
Well, they are, and if somebody's usually you don't see the Easy Riders separate issues.
Yeah.
And if you do, they're like outrageously priced.
Did you ever what was the other one? Was it Cycle Connection or Cycle Showcase? Another magazine that was out back in the day.
Super Cycle was a
Super
big
Cycle,
of Easy Riders.
I've seen some of those. I haven't really ever bought them though.
I have a full collection.
For real? Yeah.
That was run by Steve Iorio.
Okay.
And he owned SIE that sold Springer front ends, fenders, and tanks, and handlebars and risers. He was based out of Chicago. And I don't remember what the connection was, and I remember he used to run ads in there all the time. Well, he ran ads in all the magazines, but somehow he got Super Cycle magazine. And then he moved to Huntington Beach, and then they changed the name of the company to Harley Nostalgia. Then Harley sued him, and he had to change it to Nostalgia Cycle.
Okay.
But he kept going with Super Cycle.
That's cool.
And I have a full set of them. And Steve wanted to sell Super Cycle. He didn't want to do it anymore. And the original editor, Larry Comferman, was actually killed on his way back to Southern California from Sturgis.
Damn.
He had an accident on his trike and he was killed.
Damn.
And then Steve took over full time.
Yeah.
As the editor and publisher.
So that magazine kind of had the same premise as Easy Rider, a lot of lifestyle, couple features.
It was actually a little rawer image and content than Easy Riders was at the time. Because they wanted to be better than Easy Riders.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Playboy penthouse thing.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. That's a good analogy. That's exactly what it was. And when Steve wanted to sell Supercycle, Paisano Publications wanted to buy it.
Yeah.
And he said, "There's no way in hell I'm selling this to Paisano." He said, I'll just end the magazine. I'll just walk away from it before I sell it to Paisano."
Yeah.
So he...
well, a company like that would probably smooth it all over and, get rid of the thing that makes it what it is and try to make it more palatable to, like you were saying earlier, on the newsstands,
Yeah, well, what eventually happened was that the people that Steve Iora sold the magazine to turned around and sold it to Paisano after they ran it for a while.
It's almost like they backdoored them.
Yeah, so Paisano wound up with it anyway.
Yeah.
So then what they did, which was what Steve was afraid of, is that they merged Supercycle and Biker Magazine.
Oh, okay.
Together, because it said Biker on there, and then at the top it said with Supercycle. And then he killed the title.
Damn.
Got rid of it.
Kind of like got rid of the competition almost,
Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
It's cutthroat back then.
I know. What a tangled web, huh?
Yeah, like when I got into the industry, there was so many magazines. You had Road, Iron, and you had so many magazines that were more kind of just trying to capitalize off of the early 2000s commercialization of Harley in the motorcycle industry. Yeah. And they all slowly kind of merged and kind of went away to where you were left with like Hot Bike and Easy Rider, and of course Chris Callan with Cycle Source. And it just kind of, I don't know, Easy Rider went through all its different changes and then coming back and changes, and it's like the last reiteration of it was the old Easy Riders are back, but then you look in the magazine and it doesn't look like the old Easy Riders. You know what I mean?
No, and they sold Easy Riders.
Yeah.
And they tried to put out the companies that bought them. They weren't even motorcycles.
Yeah.
Had no connection with motorcycles. And then they wanted to make it. I don't know where they came up with this idea. They wanted to make a combination of like Easy Rider magazine and GQ magazine, Gentleman's Quarterly.
Yeah.
Well, that was a big flop.
Yeah.
And it was expensive. It was like $15.
Yeah.
And that lasted for 2 issues.
Yeah, that wasn't going to work. Have you ever got into like the Dice magazines or any of those guys?
I have some.
Yeah. I thought they looked pretty cool. My favorite is the old, it's not old, but you remember the Show Class magazines that came out for a while?
I have a few of those down there too.
I've been trying to collect the whole thing of that. Those are kind of, there was a guy selling the whole kit that I really wanted to buy. Like, he had every one of them. But it was like, I was just getting back from a motorcycle trip and I spent all kinds of money and I just couldn't swing the money at the time. But yeah, that's always been my thing.
I think it was Show Class in like issue 3. They got a hold of me and wanted to do an interview.
That's cool, yeah.
So I did one with them. And then I didn't have much contact with them after that. And Dice, I knew those guys.
Yeah.
And I had a feature in their magazine on my Black Shovelhead.
Yeah.
The NorCal Widow, we called it, because it was like a Northern California chopper, that style.
Yeah.
And I think that was issue 10 or 13, I don't remember.
Ooh.
Anyways, it's the issue that's got the Captain America helmet on the front.
Oh, there you go.
That's the issue it was in. But I used to see those guys all the time.
Yeah.
every time I go to Long Beach, those guys would be around someplace.
Yeah, I want to say that one of the guys passed away a couple years ago.
Not Dean.
Mike, right? Was it Mike?
No. They're going to kill me because I can't remember.
Yeah. I forget it too.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he passed away. And then I think the Dean actually moved to North Carolina now, I believe, is where he's out of.
I don't know, because he went back to England for a while, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then he came back again. Now it's going to drive me crazy. I'll think of it in a minute here. Like I said, we're running Windows 98 here. No, I can't recall a lot of that. Anyways,
yeah.
Ask me something I know. Ask me something I know.
So how many Sturgis events have you made in your in your run in this motorcycle world? You kept track of that?
My first year was 1982.
Yeah.
And I've probably missed 6 or 8.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Up till now.
Yep. Now you kind of got the cheat code. You're already here. Like everybody's coming to you now.
Well, that's true. And my wife says, you know what? I really love living up here. She says, I just love this place. That's why I said, let's move to Sturgis. And she says, but I miss that ride up here.
Yeah.
And back. She said that was almost as good as going to.
Yeah.
The rally to begin with.
Yeah, this the excitement and the unknown of what's this year going to be like.
And she was going through all this. She's going, we rode through ice, on the highways, and we rode through hailstorms, and we rode through torrential rain.
Yeah. From
Deadwood to Denver. Never let up, and windstorms. Where we went through sideways. Like this all the way home.
Yep.
And she said, I really miss all of it. So, that's the not plus size.
Yeah. I can see that. Living in Dallas, like we don't have the natural landscapes that lend itself to really amazing riding, hills, oceans, things like that. We have our little things that are good enough, right? But there's also this aspect that when I get to ride somewhere, I get to really enjoy it and I take it in more. That I feel like, and I try to remind a lot of my friends that live in these badass places, like, dude, go watch that sunset on that coast right there. Go appreciate that shit, because next thing you know, you might be stuck in Utah, which isn't a bad place either. But why
does everybody pick on Utah?
I don't know. I love the place. I think it's pretty good.
Utah used to run these tourist promotions.
Yeah.
And they had 2 hippies. It was part of this one promotion. They had these 2 hippies standing next to a VW microbus, and the guy is going, Utah, isn't that like where you pass through to go to California, man? But they were, come to Utah.
Yeah.
But so I don't know what route you usually take to go out to Southern California.
When I was on my baggers, it was usually just highway blasting. But since I've been trying to, ride in the FXR chopper, and once I get this shovelhead I'm doing done, I want to ride it out there as well. I like
the interstate, like 10?
Yeah, maybe 10, 40. I kind of jump back and forth, but sometimes I'll drop down in the 8 and go through the southern part of around the Salton Sea and all that shit.
Yeah.
But the highway I found that I love is the one 29 Palms Highway just above the 10.
Yeah. Coming
out of Parker into Joshua Tree. There's nobody on it. It's got beautiful vistas. I can stop and shoot some photos anywhere. It's amazing. But I wanted to start doing it on the chopper, the FXR chop, and these other bikes, because it makes me want to get off the main highway and go at a slower pace and just cruise.
The secondary roads and that.
Yeah.
Well, that's like I say, coming up here for all those years, you can't take the same route all the time.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yep.
And so I've probably covered the majority of the roads in Colorado, Wyoming, and South Dakota.
Yeah.
I've ridden all through all those.
Yep.
And they're all different, but I mean, a lot of it was, secondary roads. We used to go from here to Gillette, And then I think it was 52 went straight down from Gillette to Douglas, Wyoming, and then we catch 25 and then take it.
Yeah.
Spend a night in Chugwater, you know.
Yeah.
But it was all, you know, that was 2-lane and there wasn't a single person out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because the only thing about halfway between there is Wright, and it's basically a center for everybody that was in the oil and coal industry.
Yeah,
you know, they'd all, you go there and there'd be like 70, 80 trailers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, with the guys that are working.
We, 2020, we came out here, we did a extended ride, went to Beartooth and Yellowstone and all that shit.
That's awesome.
It is. It's Beartooth and Chief Joseph is one of my favorite.
Yeah, Chief Joseph is
yeah. I like Red Lodge. I like Cody. I just think it's a perfect way to either come to Sturgis and go through there first or go home and check that out, you know?
Yeah, every couple years, we would go to Cody for a couple days.
Yeah.
Go to the Buffalo Bill Historical Center, which I just love. You know,
Yeah.
I could wander around in there for a week.
Yeah.
Then we go into Yellowstone for like 3 or 4 days and stay in Yellowstone. And then we ride from Yellowstone back through Cody. And I'm trying to remember the highway. I know how to get there.
Yeah, yeah.
And go across to Grable, and then go over the Bighorns, come out of Sheridan, Wyoming.
That place is nice. I've ridden that.
And come into Sturgis.
Yeah.
And that was that's a beautiful ride too. But that stretch from like Cody to Grable, it's kind of boring.
Yeah.
You know, it's mostly reservation land.
Yeah. Have you gotten to? I mean, you've always kind of lived west of here, so most of the times you're coming and going from Sturgis, you're going through, you know, like you said, Wyoming, Colorado, and things like that. You ever get down into like Nebraska much, or in any of Kansas and stuff like that?
We used to take from here, either coming or going.
Yeah.
We would take 385 out of Deadwood, and then we would go to right below to Chadron, Nebraska.
Yeah.
Which is almost right on the Nebraska-South
border.
Dakota border.
That's usually we come through there on our way up.
And we would go through Chadron, Scotts Bluff, and come down at Sterling, Colorado, and then we take I-76 back home.
Yeah.
Just to be different.
That's typically, we come up through Alliance and, how do you say it, Chadron?
Chadron.
Yeah, that, to me, and those towns are pretty cool. They got some cool little bars in them and, you know, good stop on the way up. And I love it there.
Well, Chadron has a community college, and they also have the Museum of the Fur Trade there.
Oh, okay.
Which is an awesome place. All right, there she goes. Somebody's got to earn some money around here.
Yeah.
Isn't me. She's caretaker for this one gal.
Okay.
That lives pretty close at Ballpark Road and Junction.
Okay.
And she takes care of her, you know, in the morning, there's lunch, and then she goes back for dinner and then puts her to bed about 8 o'clock. She's about 67 years old, and not my wife, but the gal she takes care of. And she's got cerebral palsy.
Oh.
So, I mean, she needs special care. The poor girl works a lot of hours because, like we talked about before, they can't find anybody that's qualified up here.
Yeah.
There's a real shortage of assisted living caretakers. And it's like everything else. Like I showed you the siding that blew off, you know, like I said, try and get somebody to come out to begin with.
Yeah.
And then it's rally time, so nobody's doing anything.
Yeah, they're all hibernating for a couple weeks.
They're either leaving or they're participating or they just stay in the house and that's it. They don't come out. That's like the guy and his sister that mow the lawn here.
Yeah.
This is so big, and I'm not buying a $2,000 lawnmower.
Yeah.
So I just pay them to do it.
Yeah.
And they call it because we've had so much rain. They mow the lawn, and a couple days later, it's like this high again. And they said, well, you know, we're going to be leaving for 10 days during the rally. They do it every year. I said, where are you guys going? He said, North Dakota. I'm going, that doesn't sound like a vacation to me. No, not unless I watch all these people from North Dakota go, hey,
yeah.
But the fishing
up there
is good up there. So
I have ridden through North Dakota, but it's kind of laughable what I did. I literally clipped the corner of it over there north of Sioux Falls to go into Minnesota.
Okay.
So I need to properly go through there one year and check out like some of the, whatever it has to offer. I haven't been much into the eastern part of Montana either yet. Done all the stuff out west. But yeah, I need to check more.
You're talking about Nebraska too. We used to go in the middle 80s. Lake McConaughey is right up above not Sterling, but Ogallala.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
So we get off the highway there and then cut up towards Alliance from there.
Right.
That lake seems pretty nice. I love that big ass bluff you kind of ride over.
So everybody would like come and go through there. There'd be like big parties at Lake McConaughey.
Yeah.
And they just kind of take over the campgrounds and stuff.
That's cool.
In the lake. And tourists would kind of leave, you know what I mean? And
so they would kind of do that on the way to the Sturgis rallies or what?
On the way there and on the way back.
Nice.
They'd come through there. And that Ogallala, I mean, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump over the Colorado border.
Yeah.
I-76 cuts off of 80 and goes to Denver.
Yeah.
And that used to be called 80S when they first built it. So it's like when you go through Nebraska, it says the Abraham Lincoln Highway.
Yeah, Lincoln Highway.
Right. That was part of the original spine of the interstate system.
Yeah.
See, it went like 90 to 80 at Chicago, and then 80 to 80S there at Ogallala, and that went down to Denver, and then 70 went from Denver to
was it St. George? No, where it hits to 15, right? Yeah.
Right, and the majority of 15 was converted from, used to be the 91.
Okay.
State Highway 91. That was like Vegas's main drag through, and then it hit 15 and it went down and caught 91 into Los Angeles. That was the original spine of the interstate system. That was Eisenhower's plan.
Yeah.
Some sections you'll see it says Eisenhower Highway.
Yeah, because it wasn't, that documentary they did a couple years back, the 21 Days Around the Skies, when they rode from San Francisco to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Trying to ride along the 80 like variations of it from San Francisco to Brooklyn as if it was a 100-year anniversary of the Lincoln Highway. I think in like 2015 or something like that.
I'm trying to think. See, I'm going to have to confess that I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's one of my favorites. But it's I've been wanting to dig more into learning some more of the Eisenhower stuff. I do know that it was like World War I. He went over there. He was in Germany and saw the Autobahn and wanted to bring that highway structure kind of back to the States.
Well, he was in World War I.
Yeah.
Okay. He, Patton, and MacArthur.
Yeah.
Were in World War I, along with Hitler and Mussolini. They were in World War I too, but on the other side.
Yeah.
I have a relative that he always used to say he fought in the First World War, right? He was fighting on the other side. Then he came here after the war. Came to America after the war. Yeah. That's always funny because we always thought he was a doughboy war hero.
Yeah.
It wasn't. He was a German. So. But it was Eisenhower. I think he saw it World War II.
Okay.
I believe. Somebody can correct me, but I believe it was World War II when he saw it.
Okay.
And it was his idea, actually. Most city streets and whatnot, the lanes are 8.5 feet wide.
Yeah.
And the interstate highways, the lanes are 10.5 feet wide.
Yeah.
And the reason that they wanted to do that was because Eisenhower's plan was, if they had to get, if we were ever attacked, you had to get troops and supplies across the country. And they made the lanes 10.5 feet wide so they could accommodate fast travel back and forth during a wartime situation. If I have my
that's what I remember too. Yeah, from it.
But yeah, you saw the Autobahn. You saw how wide it was. You know, and how fast people could travel on it. That was his idea. So he was the one to push the interstate. Yeah,
we owe him for all this this connectivity of riding motorcycles on nice paved roads everywhere. And
yeah, well, I mean, before that, I mean, like Route 66, which is, you know, Interstate 40 now.
Yeah.
It follows and doesn't follow the original Route 66.
Yeah.
Some of them were like just like huge gravel sections of road, mud, and, you know, and when they put the interstate highway system in it, it made it smooth and it made it so everybody could travel. So, you know, after World War II, everybody got in their cars that they couldn't get during the war, took off on vacations and stuff. You know, a guy in Chicago could go to Disneyland.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and take his family and do it in comfort.
Yeah,
but I mean, there were still sections of 40 that weren't completed.
Yeah,
you know, where you go back down to 2 lanes again for a while and then
spread back
up again. But yeah, it made it easy for us.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, like those gals in the 20s that got on the 2 Harleys.
Yeah, and rode all over the country.
And rode all the way to the West Coast.
Yeah.
By themselves, just the 2 girls. Yeah. I mean, that was pretty adventurous.
Yeah. You know? In this place, yeah.
I mean, it would be adventurous today if 2 guys. I mean, have all the modern amenities and you know, pretty reliable motorcycles and stuff, but it would even be hard for like 2 girls today, you know. And
and just think about how much it wasn't even completely developed moving west in that time. You know what I mean? Because the AC didn't really, like, AC air conditioning wasn't a thing yet. So a lot of the cities out west weren't really kind of like growing as fast as they did once the AC was invented.
Yeah, well, that was the big thing in Vegas, you know, the hotels and the casinos and stuff. And at that time, they were real small.
Yeah.
To put up there, we have air-conditioned air.
Yeah.
You know, that was a big drawing point. And, you know, the hotels, when you were on the road, they'd have, you know, ice-cold air conditioning.
Yeah, and then that became a norm, and then it was HBO. We have HBO.
Yeah. Well, first it was we have color TV.
Oh, there you go. I skipped it.
We have color TV, and then it was we have HBO.
There you go.
And Cinemax.
Yeah.
Because, well, that good friend of mine, Terry Nails, he was born and raised in Las Vegas. And he could tell you everything that happened in Vegas, how it grew, and you know, how the 91 was, you know, the main drag through town, and it went all the way down to LA. See, that's why, like all the interstates, the freeways and stuff, the even numbers go east and west, and the odd numbers go north and south. Well, when the 91 comes down and it turns and it goes across LA, but it's not 91 east and 91 west, it's 91 north and 91 south. Yeah. Because at one time it was, you know, north and south. And they just kind of moved 15 over, and they just kind of, you know, went right along Vegas. But I've been on almost everything down there. Yeah. The desert is not one of my favorite places, okay? It doesn't matter when you go through it, you know.
Yeah, it's either hot or cold.
Well, you know, we went through one time in November, and I remember we got to, I'm trying to think now and I can't. God, all I can remember. It's got the world's largest thermometer.
Oh,
there.
Baker.
Baker, thank you very much.
Yeah.
The gateway to Death Valley.
Yep.
And it was like 92 when we went through, and we're going, wow, it's pretty cold here. You know,
yeah.
Because usually the temperature is like 115.
I went through there when it was 115 once on the way to Born Free one year, and when the temperature, like when you would kind of go peaks and valleys there, if it went from 115 to like 108, you would get chills. It was still hot, but it's like I would get chills because of the temperature difference, and it's still super hot. I can't really explain it. I'm not a scientist. It just, you would get like little chills on your skin and stuff.
I've never noticed that. Were you on the bike?
Yeah. Because, you know, completely covered up because it's like a hair dryer on your skin. But
I remember the first time I took Steve to Los Angeles with me. He had never been there. Well, I mean, he'd been to Disneyland with his family, but I mean, he had never traveled there. And we were in Baker. And he gets off his bike at the fuel stop and he goes, do you know where we are? And I said, well, yeah, we're in Baker. Here's the world's largest thermometer. You know, he's going, no. He's going, we're in the Mojave fucking desert. It was like 108 degrees, and he's going, I'm dying here. I can't take it. He said, I thought my gloves were going to spontaneously combust. He was pretty miserable. So I said, calm down, and I took him over to TCBY yogurt.
Yeah, you got
him down with a glass of water and a yogurt, you know. And we chilled out there for a while. One time coming back from Born Free, I think it was Born Free 3, we stopped in Baker on the way home. And it was hot. It was like 115.
Yeah.
And we gassed up, and there was a Sportster sitting at one of the pumps. So Steve wanted to clean off his windshield and his headlight. And there were no papers in this dispenser over here, so he went to walk over there. And there was some guy laying in between the gas lamps going, oh. And we're going, buddy, you better get inside.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we would like take our shoes off and soak them with water. You know, soak our jackets, our helmet, and it would be dry in 10 minutes on the road.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's Fab Kevin's trick, is to soak all your clothes. You know what I mean? And let the natural evaporation cool you off.
Yeah.
That's his way to cope with that. I remember going through, you caught me at a loss again. It's right across the Nevada border.
From Utah, St. George?
No, at the bottom of. Come down through Arizona for that little 20-minute trip from St. George, and it's right there on the.
Oh, Page? Into Arizona?
No.
Go
through Arizona, and then it says welcome to Nevada. Because you're only in that canyon there for about 20 minutes.
Oh, it's like Kingman? What? Kingman, Arizona drops you into that long 100-mile stretch that takes you to, what is it, Boulder City or something like that, where you cross the...
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. John 15. It's right when you get across the Nevada border. Mesquite,
okay. Yeah, I've only ridden through that spot one time. So.
And where Mesquite is, when you go through there's like sheer canyon walls.
Yeah.
So going through there, it's like a reflector of it. You know what I mean? Not only are you getting the sun, but you're also getting the reflection
it's trapping
off the
on
rocks.
there. Yeah.
And it just burns you. Burns you to a crisp. And that's a miserable section there. I don't know. And they get snow there during the wintertime.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard to believe.
Yeah, I went there once. I went to Vegas in February this year for a thing with Indian, and there was snow on the mountains everywhere. I was like, oh shit, it gets.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there's because that's where my buddy Terry lives in Pahrump.
Yeah.
Which is up in the mountains. Because they're gonna build. They're going through with it. And I found out last night it's going to be in Laughlin, as Woody's opening up a buffalo chip.
Oh.
In in.
They're gonna try to revive that river run, or like try to make something else happen there, probably.
I don't know.
So I heard he bought some land or something in Durango too, that they were gonna try to like expand some stuff.
You know, I don't know what the exact thing is.
Yeah.
But I was told last night it was lawful.
That's cool.
Because they had Prim, Nevada sits right on Interstate 15, sits right on the California border.
Yeah.
And they closed up Whiskey Bill's, the casino there. They closed up Buffalo Bill's, the hotel and casino. And I don't know if the Prim Valley Resorts is still going or not. But they're going to build, because they're out of room in McCarran Field there in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
They're out of room. They can't expand the airport any further.
Yeah.
So they're going to put like a satellite airport there between Prim and Jean, which is the next city up north, little places. They're going to put a satellite airport in there.
Yeah.
And put a monorail up to McCarran Field.
That's wild.
So you can land down there, but you'll wind up in the
That's not a bad idea.
Airport in Vegas. But there's a lot of development going on down there. And it was rumored that Woody was going to do it someplace in the southern part of Nevada.
Mm.
But it's supposed to be a big deal. It's supposed to have a 10,000-seat amphitheater.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to have a hotel and casino that looks like an old barn.
Oh, yeah.
You know. So I don't know how that's going to go over, but
yeah,
the chip is the chip, okay?
Yeah.
You can call something anything.
Yeah.
But the buffalo chip is a buffalo chip because it's here.
Yeah.
In Sturgis, and it started out with nothing except for 2 flatbed tractor trailer bodies for a stage, and that was about it. And it's grown into what it is today. But I mean, it's still the chip.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think you can export that.
Agreed.
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, they tried to do that with Full Throttle a lot too, where they were back in the day when it was all the TV shows and shit. They were trying to have a Full Throttle bar in like Galveston and all these other things, which I get the marketing side of it, of trying to expand and having that brand recognition or whatever you would call it. But yeah, I agree with you. It's like that's a thing that's here. So if you were to do something there, you kind of figure out what.
It's not the same. I mean, it's called the buffalo chip, but it's not the buffalo chip.
Yeah, you would put the buffalo chip. Come to the buffalo chip Vegas. It's like there ain't no buffalo out there.
Yeah, or Laughlin.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because like they're closing. Like the Hard Rocks are all closing up. I mean, the one in Vegas closed. I know the one in Denver is closed.
Mm-hmm. We had one in Dallas that closed years ago.
And, well, your buddy Richard Rollins, look at his success.
Yeah, it's that.
Did he open up a couple bars?
Well, he's had multiple. He's had a bar in Dallas before, but it's more like it's not really his. It's kind of like they're just licensing his name.
Well, this is pretty much what it's going to be. It's going to be,
I don't know. I've never met the dude. A lot of my friends that I've worked with in different car, automotive places, bike shops have kind of passed through Gas Monkey over the years. But he's just, Richard seems to be like in his own world. He doesn't really, mess with anybody in the city other than like Rick Fairless or whatever,
Well, and his actually was an Easy Riders.
A store, yeah. Oh.
And I guess, Easy Riders store. And those were all. Well, the Iron Horse used to be a Easy Rider.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And then before that, they had one of those Easy Rider shops and cafes at Exit 30, where that Pizza Ranch is and Dairy Queen. They had one there.
Do they still have that Easy Rider? Or no, it was a Harley Davidson. I'm sorry, it was a Harley Davidson spot they had in like on the new part of the strip of Vegas, where you can go in. They had like a restaurant, a Harley Davidson restaurant there. Like across from like Caesar's Palace and the Cosmopolitan and shit.
Oh,
like that.
I'm not sure because I don't. Yeah. It doesn't even ring a bell.
Yeah, it's more
probably
recent.
Because I ignored it.
Yeah.
No, usually, I have friends in Vegas, but if we're traveling, we go to Speedway Boulevard.
Yeah.
Which is where the Las Vegas Speedway is.
Yeah.
And the industrial motor complex is there. And we gas up there, we take a little break, and we ride right through Vegas. We don't stop. Because I don't do well gambling.
Yeah.
I mean, I might as well just ride through Vegas and just throw money like this, you know. I mean, it does me the same amount of good, you know. I get the same return out of it. But Las Vegas is not a motorcycle-friendly city.
Yeah.
It's really hectic. 15 going through Vegas. It's really hectic, and you really got to watch yourself because there's a lot of people there from Southern California, but there's also a lot of people there, like, this is the same problem in Denver, is that come from all over the country.
Yeah.
And when they come, they bring their driving style with them. So if they're from Boston, they drive like they're in Boston. If they're in New York City, they drive like they do in New York City. In Southern California, you know, you can always tell them because they'll be over in the far left lane, the exit comes up, they go all the way across, you know what I mean, at the very last minute.
Yeah, no consideration.
It's dangerous, and it's even more dangerous at night.
Yeah.
Because then everybody's going.
Yep.
Which is, well, I'll tell you here, for this so far, I mean, I've seen 4 accidents.
Yeah.
You know, since like Thursday last week.
Just right in front, out here on the highway?
Yeah, out on 90.
Yeah.
And walking around Friday and then yesterday in town, it's packed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dangerous people out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scary guys and gals riding motorcycles.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's the only time of year they ever ride out here, you know? Well, and you can tell they're scared as hell around every corner, you know?
I got behind a guy on a trike going into town, and I swear he's doing like 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You know, and even though they dropped the speed limit to 65, 40 is too slow.
Yeah.
But there's, like, from here, I really can't, there's no back roads to take into town.
Yeah, you got to jump on the highway real quick.
Yeah,
right?
Unless I want to take Horse Soldier Road here.
Mm-hmm.
But then that brings me out of Fort Meade. I still have to turn left and go into town. So it's convenient if you're going out to the Chip in that area.
Yeah.
But, you know, but I watch these people, you know, and it's scary.
I always think it's funny how we all just, you know, driving a car, riding a motorcycle, we have this like unsung or like just, we agree to just all stay in our lane. And obviously not everybody does, but
no,
it's like we just trust that everybody's going to do what they're supposed to do.
Well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, you know, I mean, like going up 85 from here back through Wyoming, a lot of it was, up until a few years ago, a lot of it, well, it still is. It was too late.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a lot of passing going on.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of motor homes and stuff, you know, and Christ, they'd have 20 bikes stacked up behind that motor home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Trying to get around it and that, but then you got all this traffic coming this way. And
yeah, it's just miserable.
You know, but I would always, if I didn't feel like going fast, you know, if somebody was coming up behind me, I'd move over to the far right side of the lane. I'd just go, you know, and let them go up the lane. You know?
Yeah.
But that was where the trust came in.
Yeah.
I knew if he was in my lane and he was passing me that he wasn't going to smash into me and knock his bolt down.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be hard pressed to do that now.
There's a lot of, you know, we like to kind of ride fast, and so we try to respectfully go around people.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes just completely in the other lane. If not, like if we're passing them because they're on the outside of the lane in it. You know, we're not like zooming past them. We'll give them a wave and thank you and get through it. But there's some guys out there that you would think that you just ran them off the road. You know, they're doing 30 miles an hour down to 55 because their wife's out there with an iPad filming everything, and you're just like, man, I just want to do the speed limit at least, and then you get to the next stoplight and they're losing their shit.
That's all I expect people to do is the speed limit.
Yeah.
You know, if it's 45, do 45. 65, do 65.
Yeah.
You know. That's the other nice thing about Utah is as soon as you cross the border, the speed limit goes to 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. Or you mean Wyoming?
And Wyoming too.
Yeah.
But in Utah, it's the same way.
It is?
Yeah.
You haven't been out there in a while. We have, West Texas, we have a lot of 85 miles an hour highways.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, Beaver, Utah, a lot of the shows that I see on cable and that, they go, well, we're in Beaver, Utah. Beaver, Utah is about halfway between where I-70 dead ends into 15.
Yeah.
And it's down about 40 miles maybe.
On the 15?
Yeah. But it was a notorious speed trap.
Oh, it was?
You just knew. And the speed limit dropped from 75 to 65 in that stretch of 15. And Beaver was a notorious speed trap.
Yeah.
And I go, guess what? I go, what? They go, I got a ticket in Beaver. I'm going, oh, yeah, everybody gets a ticket in Beaver, And there's no warnings.
Yeah.
But when they raised the speed limit to 80 miles an hour,
yeah,
there went that.
Yep.
That racket was done.
You ever done any of like Highway 50 out there going through Nevada, out of Utah and everything like that loneliest highway part?
No, I haven't done that.
I've been wanting to do that personally.
I kind of like to do it.
Yeah. Takes you right into, what is that, not Laughlin, Virginia City over there, Carson.
Maybe I'm not thinking of the same one. I was thinking of the one that ends in Interstate 80 in Nevada. I'll think of it in a minute.
Yeah.
But
I want to say I think this one's running east and west, and it's like it was the Pony Express route.
Yeah, it's
originally.
They call it the loneliest road. I don't know. How many gallons you got in that tank?
3.8, 3.9. So it's a King Sporty tank.
Yeah.
If I'm not high on the RPMs, acting a fool, I can usually get about 140 out of that tank.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's about what my King Sporty tank is about.
Mm-hmm.
3.4.
3.4.
And then the 90 or the 2001 Sporty tank on the other bike over there.
Yeah.
With the flat bottom and the low tunnel and the raised filler, I get about 3.8.
Yeah.
In that.
That's how that one is.
It's a little longer.
Yeah.
So you get that extra.
Yeah.
But I think that stretch, is like 120 miles long.
Yeah.
So if you had like a little Wasselpina tank,
you'd be screwed.
You'd have to have like a gallon, 6-gallon gas container on the back of your bike to make it through there. When we're talking about the L4 before, Tom Fugel's way to do it was, if you were going to do, because there's no gas between there in Utah. There's that one stretch that's like, I can't remember because it's been a while since I've been through there. But there's that one stretch in Utah where there's no gas, no services, or just ranch exits.
Yeah.
They've got the big signs up that says this is no bull, last chance for gas.
Yeah.
And Fugel, what he said, in a stretch like that, he just, at the last gas stop, he'd buy a gallon or 2-gallon container of gas,
mm-hmm.
and he'd fill it up and he'd strap it to his sissy bar, and then he'd ride until he ran out of gas in his tank, and he'd empty that into his tank and he'd throw the can away. He said it was cheap because then he said they were like $1.50 a piece.
Yeah. Nowadays, a 1-gallon gas can is like $25 at a gas station. They know you need it.
You mean an empty one?
An empty one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how it's crazy how that works. It's like they just want to, it's convenience, right? Like you go buy it at Walmart when you don't need it right there. It's, $10, $15, whatever.
Yeah.
You need to
mention the fact that the guy is like 5 miles from the gas.
Yeah.
Right? And he's either got to walk there or he's got to hitchhike to leave his bike,
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets there, he's got to have a gas can to go back.
Yeah.
And they're charging him $25.
Yep.
Get out of here.
It's a racket, man.
Yeah, it's nothing like You know, it reminds me of that joke with the mouse stuck in the mouse trap.
Uh-huh.
There's a whole line of mice behind him, and it says, "When you're in trouble, everybody wants a piece of your ass." So, but that's what few lose. They were like a fucking quarter.
Yeah. That's kind of what I do with camping gear out here. It's like, you know, it's muddy. It's all messed up. I'll run to the Dollar General and get me a pillow and a little, you know, blow-up floaty air mattress, you know, just like if you're going to go lay out in a pool or something. And, when I'm done with it, just leave it there. If somebody wants it, they can have it.
Well, you're not the Lone Ranger doing that.
Yeah.
Because if you look in the trash barrels in the campgrounds, there's all kinds of cheap pop-ups, cheap tents stuffed in there, you know, deflated air mattresses. I mean, I've been into campgrounds where, you know, everybody's packing up to leave, and the guy's out there with his knife stabbing the air mattress, winding it up, putting it in the trash. So you're not the only one that does that.
Yeah.
And then some guys I know, they pack enough to get to where they're going, and they use old T-shirts, old underwear and stuff, old socks, and
buy new ones.
Just keep throwing them away.
Yeah.
You know, stop at the nearest Walmart.
Yep.
Get some more and repeat on the home trip. So.
Yeah, I did that for years, and then it's like, I don't know. You get to a point, or I've gotten to a point where when I ride somewhere, I want to take enough stuff to get me through a handful of days, but then it also makes me stop and chill, do some laundry, you know, kind of reset and stuff like that, you know, to just buy more stuff. Plus, I don't, sometimes I live like I have a lot of money and I really don't. So it's like I need to be, you know, and underwear ain't cheap either. You need $20 for 3.
Hey,
you know?
I don't know. The wife buys the underwear.
Yeah.
You know, she feels like I need a new set, so she'll buy it.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's how mine has become.
Yeah. So it's now Steve, when we travel, he worked for a place. I'm trying to think of the name of it in Boulder. It was kind of like an REI.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a Cabela's or REI.
Yeah, it was more like REI than it was Cabela's.
Mm-hmm.
But they had all this backpacking stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and his sleeping bag was like this big.
Yeah.
You know, but it was good to 4 below.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, it packed into looked like a little sausage.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with his tent. The same thing. You know, those are really easy to pack.
Yeah.
And you don't want to throw those away.
Yeah, they're like $400.
Those are expensive. But he had the employee discount.
Yeah.
But that's what.
There was a Target used to sell this Coleman tent. It was technically it was a 4-person tent. It fit 2 people comfortably, right?
Yeah.
But it packed up to about that size, right? It was $29.
Wow, that is.
And it would fit in the bottom of a stock saddlebag or easily on a sissy bar. Uh-huh. And I ran those things for years, and I'd get probably, you know, they have a tarp bottom. So the tarp bottoms are the ones that are harder to kind of pack up because they don't compress.
Stiffer.
Yeah. But you want a tarp bottom if you're out somewhere and it rains, and you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you don't want that soaking through.
Exactly.
And then everything might not be soaking wet, but it's going to be damp. So every time you climb in your sleeping bag, it's cold and clammy, you know, it's sticking to you when you roll over. And it's like I bought the cheapy bike cover.
Yeah.
That's like $17 or something, you know. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be out. I don't need UV protection. I'm not going to be outside. I just want to cover some of the bikes when I'm working out here because the stuff goes all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, the grinding dust and all that. And then it gets on there, and then it's like sandpaper, you know. Every time you touch it, it'll scratch. That's what somebody did to my bike yesterday. They must have put something down on my back fender, like a purse or something, you know, and they rummaged through it, and they scratched an area about that.
That sucks.
Square, you know, because it's got marks like this and like this. So I'm thinking it was somebody that was digging in something. And people don't have any respect anymore.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's definitely. The other day I was at the Thunderdome, and I was helping my buddy with his bike show he's putting on, and I knew most of the bikes there.
Yeah.
and I was standing next to one I had actually painted. But then when I was up there watching him do it, I put my arm on the handlebars of this other bike, which I did not know who that person was. And it was this lady's bike, and she came up really nicely and said, "Can you please take your hand off my bike?" And I was like, I was taken back by it, but I was like, I'm in the wrong.
Yeah,
so I'm in the wrong.
I thought I was leaning on another bike.
I thought I was like, I'm sorry, my bad, but it was kind of like, I was like, yeah, dude, sometimes, it's easy to forget sometimes that it's that way, or that I shouldn't be doing that because I'm so used to being around all my friends' bikes, which.
Well, my wife wanted to take the gal that she takes care of. She's in an electric wheelchair.
Yeah.
Okay. So she wanted to go downtown and see the Budweiser Clydesdales. The opening ceremony parade. Yeah. And she wanted to see the Budweiser Clydesdales and stuff. And for the most part, she said everybody was really nice. They got her up to the front of the people, so she could see the parade. Because the wheelchair's not that high.
Yeah.
And they moved her up to the front and stuff. But then there was this one lady, my wife said, just fucking screaming at her. You don't belong on Main Street. You're in the way. Get out of it. And I thought,
the fuck, yeah.
Let's have a little human compassion.
Yeah.
She's got cerebral palsy. She has to be in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Now, yesterday I saw a lot of people in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Then I saw a lot of people riding them little scooters that shouldn't have been riding.
Yeah. You see that lady, I forget her name, but she just turned 100 years old.
Gloria.
Yes. Didn't she ride like an FXR back in the day?
I don't know if she had an FXR. I know she had Softail.
Softail? Okay.
At one time. I'm not real familiar with her, but I know she was one of the original motor maids.
Yeah.
Probably if I bought her book, I'd probably know the whole history.
Yeah.
She was right behind the Budweiser Clydesdales in one of those, one of the three wheelers with the two wheelers, two in the front and one in the back.
Oh yeah.
And 100 years old. She doesn't look like she's capable of taking a long trip.
Yeah.
By herself.
Yeah.
But up until a few years ago, she was still going cross country.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
And I think one of her goals was when she reached 100 to ride out to California for some reason.
Oh, that'd be wild.
You would have to ask. We could run up and get Cabana Dan's wife.
Yeah.
she's a motor maid.
Oh, she is?
But, more power to her.
Yeah.
She was out there at Motorcycles is Art.
Yeah.
She was out there, and she was motivating around in a wheelchair, and she was out there with her daughter and her granddaughter.
Yeah.
They were taking care of her.
Nice. How many, how long did you camp out at these events? Like, were you hitting the campgrounds before you, or did you do a lot of the hotels or houses or?
Well, like I said, the first year I spent at the city park, and that was over with the second year. So then we tried Glencoe for a while, and it was starting to get rowdy.
Yeah.
Like the Chip. And then we hooked up with this one guy that was right at the bottom of Van Acker Canyon.
Yeah.
That was an older guy, and all his kids, his one daughter was living in a mobile home that was on the property. But he had all his property. He had this big house, and all his kids were gone, except for his daughter in the mobile home. So he would rent out all their bedrooms.
Oh, that's cool.
So we stayed with him for a while.
Nice.
And then we went to Hog Heaven. And if we were camping, it was at Hog Heaven.
Yeah. I've always tried to tell people that it's an experience to camp out here. I mean, you meet people. The weather can be what it is, but like there's just so much going on, and you don't have to go to bed if you don't want to. You know what I mean?
No, well, see, that was the thing we liked. Glencoe would go 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like the Chip, And the like the fourth time that naked Santa Claus and his naked Mrs. Claus on his bike is making like the 5th trip around the circle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Screaming and yelling and stuff. That gets old.
Yeah, it does.
You know. I mean, if you want the party atmosphere, there's plenty of party campgrounds. Hog Heaven, they have some bands out there, but they try and like shut that down like about 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, their bars will still be open.
Yeah.
And you can come and go, you know, but they try and quiet it down about 11.
Yeah.
I remember when we were first out there, they used to have guys in golf carts coming out and going, "Hey, you guys are too loud," you know. It's 11:30.
Yeah.
Too fucking loud. Glencoe, you know, it was like the Chip. I remember one time walking with my wife from the concession stand back to where the tent was. And all of a sudden I hear blam, 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 blam. I know that sound, you know what I mean? Some guy's just shooting, and I grabbed her, yanked her down on the ground, you know. And so that was the last time we stayed at Glencoe. Okay, where else should we? I'm missing something here. Oh, I'll probably think of it.
Yeah, we've camped. I've been staying at the Days Inn for the most part. One year I did one night at that Camp Zero at Buffalo Chip, but it's kind of like there's nothing there, you know, zero amenities basically.
Yeah, well, it's I guess their thrust is like, you know, this was like the old shit.
Yeah.
In Camp Zero.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like super cheap, so you're not having to pay the hundreds of dollars to get into the chip to camp there.
Right, but then I don't think that camping there doesn't entitle you to go to the concerts.
Yep, it doesn't. Yeah.
And that's extra.
Yeah, and I personally, that's what I said. I like where we stay. It's right at the corner of Lozelle and 80, or 90, and so you can get right on the highway and go any direction you want. You know, you want to go to Deadwood, you don't have to wait through all the Sturgis traffic to get to there.
Yeah, because it's right there on Avalanche Road.
Yep. But I wouldn't mind camping in the hills somewhere once. Like, I haven't done that yet.
I think in the last one that we did, didn't I tell you one time? Because that's all national forest going up 14A.
Yeah.
Boulder Canyon from Sturgis to Deadwood. You used to be able to camp along in there.
We see them camp. Yeah, I see people getting in there all the time and camping.
Well, usually the rangers would chase them out, you know.
For real?
Because the camping's supposed to be prohibited in there, you know. But when I first came up here, there were a lot of people there.
That'd be cool, just kind of camping right there in those little canyons.
Yeah, you just pull off.
Yeah.
Dick Allen and his crew that's where they used to camp.
For real?
Yeah. Was along there. And I know I'm missing I know we went someplace else. I can't remember where we stayed.
Yeah.
Because I know the guy we stayed with was right at the bottom of Van Acker Canyon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right before you started to go
climbing up. Yeah.
His place was right there.
So yeah, that's easy to get to and from Sturgis from there. You know what I mean?
And that was before they paved Van Acker.
Oh.
It was gravel. Well, it was paved up a ways, and then it was
gravel
from there. And he died. The guy we used to stay with there rented out the rooms.
Yeah.
That was super cheap. It was like $50 a night.
Yeah.
And you get up in the morning, he had
breakfast,
like donuts and sweet rolls, and coffee, and that. Just something to get you going in the morning. He's a really nice guy. Well, he passed away, and his daughter got, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then she met up with this guy and married him, and he had 2 kids. So they took the 2 of the rooms.
Oh, yeah.
And then she decided to not rent the rooms.
Not bringing it, yeah.
Because she had, young kids there. Mm-hmm. So she decided that she didn't want to.
It happens.
Want everybody there, so that ended that. Trying to remember. I don't know. I'm missing one of them.
Yeah.
But mainly we stayed in Hog Heaven.
Yeah.
I got friends that wanted to stay here, and I had to. I said I tried it last year. I said Saber's just not tolerating anybody.
Yeah, the dog
coming in the house. Yeah, my shepherd. I said, he's not tolerating it. And I said, you know, if I have you guys stay here, I really hated to say this, but I said, if I have you guys stay here, I'm going to have to practically be here like 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You know, because if somebody comes in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and has to take a poop, they're going to be able to get into the house.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, showers and all that other stuff, kitchen privileges. It just, you can't do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it seems that your place, as when I got here, as testament to that, has been a savior for a lot of people's motorcycles over the years. Yeah. You know, get in here, you have all the tools to assemble, like rebuild a bike 100%, build a bike from scratch. So
pretty close.
Yeah.
Well, that's the black one there. I mean, that was, you know, I was looking around and I'm going, I got a transmission case, I got a gear set, I got this frame's been here for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I got the front forks, don't have a tank, don't have an engine. I got a rear wheel at the fender.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was actually add the gas tank and
a motor
and the engine, and the bike was finished.
Yeah.
And that one over there is pretty much the same way too.
Almost ready.
So I'll sell this one and I'll probably keep that one for
Yeah.
That'll probably be the last one.
So the hardtails ain't kicking your ass?
The what?
You built right for the hardtails or what?
No, I've got heart problems. I just don't want to do the heart's not in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to slow down.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I retired, but that didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then a lot of the guys I've done work for in the past, and they want to come back and have me do work again, and I really can't say no.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they're loyal people. So, but then I keep taking these projects in.
Yeah.
But I hate to turn somebody down, especially if I've known them for a long time or know them real well. You know, to trust me with their project and to you know, see it through to completion. Like this guy.
Yeah.
This is bike number 7 I'm gonna be building for.
Yep.
So, and besides, I got a Titan in the deal.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I don't know what I'm going to do with that.
Well, like we were saying, it's got a lot of good parts, so you could keep it together or chop it up and go somewhere else with it. And...
Well, Bill Mize, it was here.
He's
been eyeing that ever since he's been in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he came back and gave it another once over today, so we'll see what happens there. I do have a couple people that are interested in the black one, and that'd be nice.
That'd be cool.
But I'm not asking a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
So if I break even on the deal, you know.
Be good.
It's like most of my bikes. I mean, I'm like a lot of people. I buy parts all the time. I say, oh, God, the sliders are only $20 a pair, you know, and I'll buy them. And it might be 2 years until I use them, or 40.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I stash them away.
Yeah.
That's why I say, I go, oh, I have the front forks for this. Here's the tubes, I get the springs, you know. And that's how a lot of the bikes aren't built out of junk, but I mean, they're good, solid parts.
Yeah.
You know, but I just happen to have them
here.
Yeah. And that makes me, well, I don't know. How many bikes are you putting together now? I mean, seriously, the one for Born Free Texas is what?
It's a 77 Shovelhead that we're hardtailing.
So I assume you and Corey have been ordering a lot of parts.
So far, I haven't ordered. The only thing I've ordered is wheels. I don't like spoke wheels for traveling.
Okay. Well, I don't blame you.
Yeah. So
I don't either.
We got some mags on the way. But when we get back, you know, Corey's more of a wizard when it comes to final drive gear and all that stuff. And I want to be able to cruise and stay on the highway if I have to, you know.
Okay.
So.
Excuse me.
And we're doing, you know, I want to travel across the country on this bike. I want to get that experience of riding a hardtail coast to coast. And so I've been trying to.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Have you done it?
Yes.
Then I want to do it.
Yeah,
you know what
but
I mean?
I did it when I was in my 20s and 30s.
Yeah, well, I'm coming late to the game, but I want to be able to say that I had that experience, you know?
I understand what you mean. You want to see what it's like. You want to see what people experienced in the past.
Well, I think that there's no shortage of, like you just said, in your 20s and 30s, you rode these bikes, and then you progressed up to more comfortable things, right?
Right.
I started off on the most comfortable bike they make. So it's like I skipped what I would say is the hard part. And I kind of want to be able to go back and experience that and understand it and give myself a better, for lack of a better term, understanding of what this culture has always been about, you know? And I don't want it to be easy. It gets boring when everything goes, I don't want things to go wrong, but it gets boring when I can just twist the throttle and do 200 miles and not even remember anything I saw, you know, have, you know, music in my ears and I'm not even listening to the road. I like the other feeling. That's why I don't have any gauges on that bike. That's why there's no information. It's just what's out there, you know?
Well, it's like we got that Clockwork.
The RT fairing, yeah.
Well, it's an RP.
RP, okay.
Actually. But it's a nice kit because you got the fairing and primer.
Yeah.
And then Brian gives you the bubble for the headlight.
Yeah.
Gives you the mounting kit. And he gives you the flare windshield.
Yeah.
I believe it's 7 inches.
Yep.
Well, that's a smoking setup. I mean, the only thing you have to buy is the headlight bucket and the 7-inch headlight.
Yeah.
Which I have.
Yeah.
I've got it in my stash over there.
Yeah. Well, you have another fairing over there. Is that what's that RT fairing over there?
That's the one that this one is replacing.
Replacing that one? Yeah.
If you go over and look at it, it's smashed.
Smashed up, yeah.
Yeah, smashed up, scraped up, full of mud.
Yeah. The process I'm doing on my shovel head, I don't know what bars I want to run. I don't know what tank. But I have been trying to collect different oil tanks and stuff to see if I want that look, or if I go with a Wassel tank, then I know that I kind of would rather have ape hangers on it. If I go with another sporty style tank, I'm going to want, that.
This one he wants a King Sporty tank on, and he wasn't too sure what handlebars he wanted to run because he got kind of addicted to the Flanders number 2 bends. Okay, which are my favorite handlebars.
Yeah.
And they want something different, and he came in when he dropped the stuff off. He came in and he saw the tracker bars on this and the medium risers. He saw the tracker bars over there that are a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So that's what he wants now.
Yeah, to get that feeling and stuff. Yeah. I've been running the T-bars and motor style bars on all my bikes for the last 9 years, and I had an FXR before Sturgis last year. It was an 84, all crusty, but it had these narrow 14-inch apes, and I fucking loved riding that bike. You know what I mean? Just super narrow, kind of narrow at the bottom.
Apes. Because anything else, any apes that you put on there that weren't with the 39 millimeter front end,
it'd be too wide at the bottom.
Like Texas Longhorn.
Exactly.
That'll look really stupid.
But yeah, I enjoyed riding that bike around, and the only reason I got rid of it was because everything I wanted to do, or felt like I needed to do so it would be mine, would have taken away what that bike was. You know what I mean? It was just a perfect old crusty paint job that was original, blonde motor. The whole bike was just a fucking good one.
I mean, I'm still riding rigid frame bikes, but I mean, I went from a frame mounted seat to
the air ride,
the solo springs to the air ride.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm kind of cheating. No, I'll tell you. I'd always put all my bikes together.
Yeah.
Right. And my ex, I was going to put another one together, and she's going, you know what? She said, instead of putting another bike together, she said, it's going to take you another year. Why don't you just go down to the dealership and buy one? And I went, you know what I mean? I never expected that to come out of her mouth.
Yeah.
Right? So I wanted to get a FX lowrider.
Yeah.
All right, shovel at the time. It's a shovel, 79.
Yeah.
I wanted, or the FX wide glides just come out.
Yeah.
And I went to the dealerships and I couldn't find either one of them. They just didn't have them on the floor. And I went to this one dealership and they had a 79 Electric Light Classic. That was you've seen them. They were the tan and cream special edition.
Yeah.
And the 13 spoke wheels on it, mag wheels, and they had the King Tour pack on there. And he said, "I've got this one." He says, "It's got a good price on it." He said, "It's it's a 79. It was brand new."
Yeah.
And he said, "It's $52.95."
Yeah.
For a bagger.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I don't know. This is 79. I'm going, well, I don't know. I'm going, old dressers are kind of like for old men.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You're going to get there eventually anyway." He says, "Why don't you just circumvent that?"
Yeah.
And he says, "Go take this out for a ride." This is when you could go out and ride a Harley Davidson, test ride it from the dealership, and they wouldn't send a car out after you, or you didn't have to put somebody on the back or ride around with him. And he said, "Take it out for like an hour." He said, "Bring it back." So I did. And I started out, and I'm going, God, I hope nobody sees me on this, But the more I rode it, I'm going, this thing is nice,
Yeah.
So that was my first bagger.
Yeah, and that was, were they rubber mounted motors on that one? Or
no,
that wasn't until the...
It was the same 4-speed frame as the FXs.
Okay.
It was at the FL.
FL, yeah.
But it was the same frame.
That's cool.
4-speed frame, solid mount engine.
Yeah, because I think that, it was like 82 or something that they started going to the rubber mount.
Well, that was when it came the FLT.
Yeah.
Instead of the FLA. The FLT started in 1980.
Oh, okay, in 80.
And it was rubber mount.
Yeah.
Okay. And it had the 5-speed transmission.
Mm.
Early 5-speed.
Yeah, early one.
Had 5-speed transmission. And they were trying to get, because Buell was in on the design team, Eric Buell was in on the design team for the rubber mounted frames.
Yeah.
For the FXR and for the FLT. And they weren't quite done with the development on the FXR.
Yeah.
And the design team knew, because the Evolution project was already going. So they brought the FLT out first with the shovel motor in 1980. And in 82, they brought out the FXR with the shovel motor.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, they both had Evolution motors.
Yeah, 84, right?
Yeah. And everybody always says, well, if it wasn't for AMF, Harley Davidson wouldn't have had the Evolution motor, and it wouldn't have had the 5-speed and all that. And, what they don't understand is, around that time, AMF wasn't kind of looking around for somebody to take it off their hands, because it didn't turn out to be the recreational investment that they thought it was going to be, right? And what happened was AMF went to Porsche, and had Porsche do the R&D work for the Nova project.
Yeah.
Okay, the 4-cylinder water-cooled, fuel-injected.
The original FXR.
Yeah, and then Harley Davidson itself, in-house, did the R&D work on the Evolution motor. The AMF didn't pay for both of them.
Yeah.
They paid for the Nova. Harley Davidson pretty much paid for the development of the Evolution.
Yeah.
And AMF got tired of putting money in the Nova project, and they just
scrapped it,
dumped it, And then he had the buyback in 82.
Mm-hmm.
So then Harley was out on their own. But people always say, oh, well, AMF, if it wasn't for their money, but at that time it wasn't their money.
Yeah.
That developed the Evolution. And I know a bunch of guys that went and got brand new Evolution motors and put them into rigid frames.
For real?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, don't you have to basically, the Evolution motor's taller, so fitting them in the old shovel head frames, you have to raise the whole backbone and stuff up, right?
Yeah. The rocker box.
The rocker box.
Is higher and back a little bit further.
Yeah.
And how I put them in the frames probably different than everybody else does. I give the down tubes in the front a 2-inch stretch, which isn't that much.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, visually, you really can't. You can't really tell.
Yeah.
And then for the seat post, I used to raise the backbone up a little bit higher in the back, because you're already up. You've already raised the backbone by going with the 2-inch stretch.
Yeah.
In the down tubes. Most of the time, what I would do is make a cut in the seat post and bend it back, and then put a filler piece in. So that didn't look out of place.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because like when I got that other bike over there, that was I got a roller from Cycle Source Best of Show in the 75th anniversary, and there was a real huge gap over the top of the motor.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it at all.
Brought it back down?
Yeah, I took like 3/4 of an inch out of the seat post. I shortened the rear section. I shortened the backbone. I cut the double down tubes out, put single down tube in there. And
yeah, I remember seeing that frame here last year. When'd you do all the fab work on that?
Oh, before I moved up here.
Yeah, I remember seeing the bike, like that frame and stuff here last year, right? When I was in here?
No.
It wasn't?
That was that one.
Okay,
Black.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where did that frame come from?
From the same guy that gave me the Titan.
Oh, for real?
That was my Christmas present one year.
Oh, that's awesome.
He goes, I'm never going to build a project out of this. He goes, here, you can have it. And at that time, it was Anthony owned, I believe it was in Orange, California, a chassis design company. And then he sold it. And I guess they weren't too successful with it, whoever he sold it to. And then Anthony got back into it again in Florida. And that's where you see Tinworks now.
Yeah.
That's the same company. They're basically the same frame. I mean, they even make a frame that's similar to that.
For real.
But that's where that frame came from. He just brought it in. He picked up one bike I had just finished. He goes, here. He goes, Merry Christmas. I'm never going to use this. It was with the title and everything.
That's awesome.
So, Steve calls him our number one client.
Yeah.
Our number one client.
Well, I mean, I've got a handful of guys that really, it's almost like they invest in me, right? They like the products that I make, which I'm assuming he likes the products that you make for him.
Yes.
And to them, it's like it's their way of like supporting an artist. You know what I mean? Trying to keep them building cool shit. You get to get what they build. Yeah. You know, and I mean, I think that shit's awesome. I mean, I have a few guys like that for me that I'm very thankful for. You know.
Well, like I say, a lot of the people that I do work for are repeat people.
Yeah.
You know, they come back over and over. And you know, it's like my wife says. She said, you know, you never do anything half-assed. Yeah. She said, you either do it or you don't do it. You know, she said, no Mickey Mouse stuff, you know, no paper towels in the dent in the tank with Bondo over the top, you know what I mean? Yeah. And she said, you will fuss with it until it's right. Yeah. You know, Fab Kevin one time said, you know, it was on one of the message boards. He said, you know, Rich's bikes are one of the few bikes, he said, that I could roll off his lift and put gas in it, and he said, go to California. Yeah. He said, not worry about anything. You know, and that's what I pride myself on. You know, I mean, anybody can come back. We always had the saying when I worked for the transit company, anything worth doing once is worth doing over and over again. That's not. Yeah. You know, because bad news travels fast. Yeah. You know, it's like if you look up Yelp reviews, all the Yelp reviews are people who weren't happy. Yeah. Nobody ever puts up there, geez, I had a great pizza at this restaurant. Yeah. You know, it's just the people that put, I was eating this pizza, I thought I was eating the cardboard that was on the bottom of it. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're going to see on Yelp. So, you know, bad news travels real fast. Yeah, it definitely does. And to that point of using Yelp or just the internet in general, you know, you fuck over one customer and that everybody in America that's
tapped into this world is going to know about it like that.
Yeah.
And, I guess we're all, wired to go towards like, oh, what happened? Who did what? Who did who wrong? And we're just wired to it. Like we're, it's like in our DNA to kind of like make sure that that's not a threat to us or something like that. You know what I mean? To find out, oh yeah, I don't have anything from that company.
Well, to me, social media is a double-edged sword. I mean, I didn't grow up with it. I had to learn it. And, it's like instant communication.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? News travels fast. Like, I'm sure Lonnie Anderson, when she died yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
I bet she was 15 minutes.
Yep, it was all over the place.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's leads to the bad part, is that somebody can just get on there anonymously or with a made-up name and like shoot from the lip and ruin somebody's reputation.
Yeah, 100%.
Not true.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to use the term fake news because I don't like that term.
Yeah.
But yeah, anybody can get on there and say anything. He's a piece of shit. Well, a good example. We were talking about Richard Rollins.
Yeah.
A couple days. Well, I guess it was the middle of the week before the rally started. He did a video.
Uh-huh.
Hey, come to Gas Monkey Garage. Come and get breakfast. And he had like these breakfast dishes out there, and he's going, because you come here and eat because the rest of this food in this town is shit.
Yeah.
And what happened? I think they were gonna, the old Frankenstein movies of the lynch mob with the torches and stuff and the pitchforks. The town just, that was insulting.
It was, yeah. It's low class.
That's a Bush League move. You don't tear somebody down to build yourself up.
Yeah.
He could have said, I have the best food in town. I mean, just leave it like that.
Yeah.
But like all the permanent restaurants were like,
yeah, that's yeah.
And I don't blame them.
Yeah, agreed.
And see, they know it's an out-of-towner that came in and made the comment. It wasn't like it was one of their own that did. It was an out-of-towner. And that didn't endear him to a lot of people. But yet he's still got people there. I mean, there's people going to come in. I mean, with this many people coming into town, there's going to be people that want to go there and get a picture taken with him and his autograph on a T-shirt, but, it went over like a lead balloon. And bam, it like was down.
Yeah.
Off his Instagram site. And
how's social media been for you, like being able to connect with people and stuff since you've been on it,
Oh,
because you were on the old message boards, like Chopper Dogs, all that
message boards, and then all they did was fight with each other, and I thought, well, they're not serious about doing any of this stuff. So
yeah.
Why should I bother to try and answer their questions? Because somebody's either going to tell you you're wrong, or they're too busy fighting with each other.
Yeah.
Here's my address. Come kick my ass. That's some shit.
Yeah.
That's like high school chick stuff.
Yeah.
And I was on not quite a few, but there was a half a dozen message boards I would go to. But it took me a while to get on Facebook.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do it because I thought it was like MySpace.
Yeah.
I thought it was like for junior high girls. And I got some business from Facebook.
Yeah.
I had a personal page and a business page, which are both still up there, but I very rarely go to them. We got on Instagram. Instagram was good for connecting with people that I hadn't seen for a while, or business.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram to me is good for business.
Yeah.
I don't do TikTok and I don't tweet. On Twitter, I don't even, and I know there's a couple more out there, but I don't do those.
Yeah. It's too much work. I think Instagram's a good balance of like a place that you can show.
Yeah.
You can visually kind of show people what you do, what you've done, and there's enough of a way to communicate, like as if it was Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, I don't wanna be on these sites like monitoring them constantly. You know what I mean? I've got stuff to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually do have a life. But you know, I don't want to be constantly checking like 5 or 6 platforms. You know.
Yep.
I'd rather just stick to 2. I mean, I still have my Facebook account, but I very rarely go there.
Yeah.
It's like my email. I might go look at my emails maybe once a week.
Yeah.
And everybody texts me.
Yep.
You know. And so, I used to have, my website was up until about 2 years ago. Website and that, and my domain and all that, and I just got rid of them all. I just canceled them. You know. And I'm not paying, so it saves me $60 a month.
Yeah. It helps. It adds up.
And I can put that into something else. But Instagram I like because I see a lot of people that I know. Tell you the truth, and this is funny, if I look at I make a post, I look at the likes, it's like mainly guys in the business.
Yeah.
The shops and stuff like that. Which, you know, I mean, there's a lot of, I ran into a guy yesterday. Oh man, I've been following you for years on Instagram. You know. Didn't even recognize his username. You know?
And that's the part about it. Sometimes it feels very, it's awkward, right? Because you know, you so many people might know who you are and follow your work, but then you don't have the same connection to them on the other end, so you don't know much of anything about them.
No,
you know?
No.
It's not their fault, but it does feel weird. You know, like I try to have like that Southern hospitality of trying to be, you know, is when someone comes up to me and says, "Hey man, I follow you," and all this, is like, "Hey, where are you from?" Like, I want to learn about you a little bit now. Is that way I can put that face to something, you know? Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know who this guy was. Didn't recognize his username, and I thought, well, it's okay. But at least he stopped me and said, "Hey, I've been following you for a long time," which I appreciate. You know, I don't want it to sound like I don't know who this guy is. You know, I don't have time for him. You know, I've always got time for people.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I don't understand these celebrities that, like, you know, I can understand the paparazzi in the celebrities, you know, but fans and stuff, you're in this business and you're like in like a fishbowl, okay? And like with actors and things like that, if you're not relating to the public, you're not going to go see your movie.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you owe, like that person that comes up to you in a restaurant and says, "Oh, you know, Mr. Schwarzenegger, could I get your autograph?" You say, "Certainly, most likely. What's your favorite movie?" You know what I mean? Just give him a little interaction, you know, and give him back the autograph. Go, "Thank you. I'm going to get back to my meal, but it was nice that you came home."
Yeah.
There's a way to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
But some of these, you know, and I think everybody in this, you should be like that in the business. You know, like you say, "Hey, where are you from?"
Yeah.
You know, I think it should be like that.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the motorcycle world is to become well known in it is not that tall of a mountain, you know, depending on what you do, you know. So it's a lot of people get a taste of like a form of fame within this space, and it kind of can go their heads in the wrong way, you know.
You know, I've always said that the work is important to me.
Yes. Okay.
And my wife will tell you, she'll say, "I know when you haven't been out there in the shop for a couple of days," she said, "because you're not like the same person." She said, "You're not satisfied."
Yeah.
You know, she said, you know, enough leave it to Beaver, get out there and cut some metal. You know?
Yeah.
No more highway patrol for you.
Yeah.
You know? But she's right. She pushes me.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes I just go, "Hey, you know what, fuck this. I just, you know, I'm tired of this." But she's the one to put. But I do still enjoy doing the work.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's you know, I was out on the black bike when I started going out on that for the first time. I forgot how much fun it was, how enjoyable it was, you know, to start out with the bare chassis on the lift and
finish it out,
to, you know, ride it safely, you know, because I'm very happy with this bike because it goes down the road straight as an arrow, you know, and the geometry on it is really nice. You go into a curve, all you got to do is just push down a little bit on the left bar, the counter steer just a tiny bit. It
goes right into it,
You know, unless you're looking over here and then you're going right off the top of the curve. But, you know, we talked about that the other day. I said, well, you know, a lot of these guys that are riding up here this weekend, they take that, you know, weekend rider course and they think that they're ready to go. And the furthest they've ridden is to Starbucks or to the Harley dealer for bike night. You know, they don't actually ride. And then they're going to come up here and they're going to cut the Black Hills. And the Black Hills, the roads are challenging. Let's put it that way. And some of them are dangerous. You know? If you don't know how to counter steer, which they don't usually teach you in the beginner course, you know, and how to shift your weight in that, you can get in trouble real quick.
I feel like a lot of people, they get, especially the rider, the one running the bike, they start looking off at the scenery and, you know, and they don't see that corner.
All of a sudden they're in the gravel.
You
know, on the side of the blacktop. And then they're going down into or they get into it and they try and immediately get back out on the road and then they're gone. And then they all want to travel together, you know. All 6 of them that came up here, they all want to be riding like an outlaw club, you know, 2 inches away from each other. And something happens, somebody goes down and 4 other guys plow into them. You know, that happened up near Hill City just a couple of days ago.
I think I've seen a lot of reports come across, like people say, hey, did you see this one wreck that happened today? And, you know, because they report that shit all over Facebook, you know what I mean? And then they'll have like a ticket count, DWI count, death count, all those type of things out here.
Well, you know, the fatalities, I think they go all the way from like Newcastle to, and then like out to Sundance because it's all Black Hills, you know. They call that the Western Black Hills towards Sundance and that area. And all that area is included, you know, so somebody gets killed in Sundance, why it gets reported. But then they do have statistics like, you know, in Sturgis and stuff. But no, I like I say, this is scary people. And they think that they're going to come up here, and then you mix in the alcohol and a little bit of this, you know. And but you're right, they'll be looking like this, and they'll be off travel. Or they don't know how to go through a corner. And
they try to stay up, and then they
steer instead of counter steering. And they shoot right off the top of the curve.
Or they come into a corner too hot, and then they start fixating on the other lane, and they just go right for it. You know, target fixation stuff. You know,
I've seen a lot of them that are doing on their motorcycles what you used to do when you first learned to ride a bicycle, where you're staring at the wheel. You know, the front wheel. And then these people are like, they're not flat-footed. They're like up on their tippy toes on the bike. And they still go like this. They want to compensate. It's a
lot of drops in gas station parking lots because they can't maneuver the big old bikes that they're buying. And shit like that.
And, you know, I understand people having to buy trikes because they can't hold up. But they still want to ride. That's fine with me. But you got to do the speed limit.
At least.
Okay, not 40.
Last year it felt like every time we went out to go ride, we got stuck behind trikes. That, you know, because they're hard to get around, and there's usually, like you said, there's a pack of them. There's 4 dudes on trikes. You know, and they're doing needles and they don't fit through any of the shit, you know?
Well, even on the, the maps that they hand out of the Black Hills, they've got it marked that, a lot of the routes, they've got them marked that says different, degree of difficulty, and a little chart over here, and the red ones are, exceedingly difficult. The white ones are super easy, and they're not kidding when they do that.
Yeah.
No, needles is not like for beginners.
It's not. The last 3 years I've ridden it, I've gone from basically like Crazy Horse side over to the back end of it.
Okay.
And literally, once you get to the top and you go through the little slit right there, man, I put it in neutral and I'm going as fast as neutral will let me go down that whole thing to the backside.
Yeah.
Damn near just turn the bike off, Well,
like I say, I don't think everybody should do 90 through needles,
Yeah, 100%.
But at least do the speed limits that are posted.
What I wonder why they don't. I feel like for like the weekend of like maybe the first weekend or maybe the second weekend, like each weekend of Sturgis, they shouldn't allow cars or anything but motorcycles on those two roads, just to eliminate some of the congestion with because there'll be an RV trying to go through there.
Yeah, there's a lot of motorhomes and Suburban's pulling.
Yeah.
Camper trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that adds to the congestion and. Well, when is it that I think it's Friday at like 8. I think all the cars have got to be off for the rest of the rally.
Oh, it does?
Main Street, I think. Could have the time wrong.
Oh, yeah. I know what you mean, yeah.
Well, it's like they lowered the speed limits.
Yeah.
91 from 75 to 65. 79 went from 65 to 45. 35 miles an hour all along 34 once you leave town, all the way out to the ship.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because of the congestion. And I know it leads to, slower travel time. But like the State Patrol was saying, you're doing 65 from Rapid City to Sturgis. And you're doing 75 from Rapid City to Sturgis. It's like a 3-minute difference.
Yeah.
But, if you're going to insist on going 40.
65 is just that weird. If you have like, a 6-speed transmission or,
you're in between gears.
It's like a weird speed to be at. It's almost too high sometimes for 5th gear, and it's really not, but you're just kind of running a little higher than you probably want to. And in 6th gear, it feels like you're running way too low. So,
well, I know on my Instagram and on the Facebook, the South Dakota State Patrol had made posts on their sites. Here are the speed limits for the rally.
Yep.
And it said, whoever wrote it, I don't know who wrote it. He said, there's a rumor going around that locals are not going to get tickets for speeding. They're just going to get tickets for warning because they're used to going 75 to 80 miles an hour out there on 90. He said, that's wrong. You will get a ticket. There's no pass for locals.
Yeah. That's wild. Well, Rich, we've done it again. Another 2 hours.
I enjoyed it again. I'm glad you stopped by. I'm glad you could fit it in. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed talking to you, and like your shop's awesome. Seeing your projects that you got going on is super interesting to me, and like I said.
Yeah, I just happen to have quite a bit in here.
Yeah. You're hard telling this one. You got this fresh pan behind you that's got to get revived, and another project on the chopping, not necessarily chopping block, but needing to get taken apart over there.
Yeah, take it apart and on its way to plating and paint stuff, and then that Titan, I'm debating on whether I want to keep it and turn it into my sidecar project.
Yeah.
But it definitely needs to be straightened out. There's a lot of funky stuff on it. Yeah. This bike could have gone through 6 or 7 people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Each one added their own fuckery to it. All right. At least there's no lamp cord in there and stuff for the headlights. So that's it,
That's good.
No stereo speaker wire for the taillights. So then somebody's going to go, oh, that's good wire. Well,
yeah.
It's not automotive grade. Okay, let's put it that way.
Yeah, so, yeah, man, I really do appreciate it, man. I'm glad that people really enjoyed the last podcast we did. And, it was, the YouTube folks really enjoyed that. And, the stories and the...
I don't know how popular this one's going to be because we kind of rambled all over the place and we talked about stuff probably that is a motorcycle related. But I just happened, when you want to do this, I went back and I looked at the views on the one from last year.
Yeah.
And they were like over 40,000.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like shocked.
I can't think of the rhyme or reason why certain ones do go through the roof. Obviously, there is the aspect of the guest, and they want to hear from the guest. But it's so weird, the algorithm stuff. It's like you got to play a weird game with that. They want it posted at certain times, and if like culture is looking for that type of content, then they lean into it real hard. Because right before your episode, I want to say it was Josh Kerpius, the photographer for Harley, and that one did really well as well.
I know Josh.
And
he was in that 10 days.
That
10 days, 20 days under the sun.
Yeah, 21 days under the sky.
Under the sky.
Yeah. So.
And Josh was in that.
Yeah.
I think I ran into. When did I first meet Josh? I'm trying to think. He was taking photographs. I know that. And then he got the gig with Harley.
Mm-hmm.
But we were I was at the Moon Eyes Christmas party in fucking California. Anyway, at one of the speedways. I can't think of it. But anyways, I ran into Josh there. And he said, here, have this guy take our picture. Took a picture of me and him together. And he said, why is it every time I talk to Rich, it's like I'm being tested for a chopper quiz? Which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
And what he meant was, the knowledge was there and he'd never heard of it. And I'd ask him about something he wouldn't be familiar with it, and then I explained it. But that's what he says. Why every time when I talk to Rich, it seemed like I'm in a chopper quiz? But he's a good photographer.
He's a great photographer. I mean, that documentary and him and the other gentlemen that were on that ride were very inspirational to me whenever I saw that. It took me a while this shovelhead I'm building is my first chopper.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get to this point, but I've always been one that I don't want to jump into things. I want to kind of like understand it in a different way. And
Corey's a good guy. I don't know how. I mean, his skill set is good.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people are super easy teaching people.
Oh, he's good.
Other people are not.
Yeah.
The knowledge is there, but they can't project it.
Yeah.
Into.
Well, I think it'd be different if I was like, hey, I've never done this before at all, so teach me from scratch, right? But I've always said this, even when people ask me about paint stuff, I'm like, it's a lot easier to give you the nuggets of information that connect the strain that it is to give you the whole thing. So if you come to me and you say, hey man, every time I'm trying to palette my brush to pinstripe, it does this. And I'm like, do you do this right here? He goes, no, I haven't tried that. What does that do? Well, it does this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Bam. I fixed that gap for you. And now things roll smooth. And that's kind of what it is with Corey, is like on the hardtail we did together, I got it, I figured it out, but now I feel like I need to go fuck around by myself and fuck some things up and then come and ask the questions.
Well, yeah, because you bring it and you say, well, what happened here?
Yeah.
And a skilled person can say, oh, okay, you need to bump up on the gas.
Yeah.
Sharper point on your tungsten, slow down.
Yeah.
Turn the amperage up. You know what I mean? And then try that.
Yeah.
And then you do it, and you say, oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Or you go, well, it's like we were saying, you know, you ask 20 painters about something and they'll give you 20 different answers. The same thing with TIG.
Yeah.
It's not absolute. Like painting is not absolute. You know, you ask 20 TIG welders and they'll give you 20
something different answers. Yeah.
So you have to sift through all that and figure out what works for you.
Well, the way I see it with Corey is, you know, he has a skill set and he does it in a very simple fashion. Like he prefers to use the most simplistic of tools, you know, angle grinders, you know, cut off wheels, welder. You know, he does have a lathe and a mill. And to me, it's like, it's interesting because it shows me that like some of this stuff is achievable with like basic stuff that I actually already have.
Yeah. You
know, and that opens a big world of possibilities in itself. And I don't know, man, like I just, of all the bikes I've been, you know, riding and customizing over the years, you know, I try to stay true to my desires. And I haven't really ever had this desire to want to do stuff. But when I got into choppers and started surrounding myself with different people that had these skill sets, I'm like, man, I want to be able to hold my own in this group or on these bikes or whatever the case may be, you know?
Well, I mean, you can look around here, and I mean, I don't have, you know, I don't have a lathe that's working right now. I don't have a mill. I don't have a lot of things, you know, but there's a lot of stuff I like to work with. There's specialty tools in that I have, but I like to, you know, I get what I need done well with a minimum of tools.
Yeah.
You know, and anybody can do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody always says you ought to write a book. You ought to write a book. You ought to write a book.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, well, you know, get a hold of the publisher and tell them to call me. But you know, Steve knows everything that I know.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And his people's champ bike, we cruise it out.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, Stevenson Cycle, Steve Broyles, he said, you know, he says that Steve's bike is so nice. He says, really nice. He said, but, he said, I can look at the bike and he said, I can see you.
Yeah.
And I go, well, I didn't do the work. He says, no, but I still see you.
Yeah, well, that's what happens with, you know, like, I'm sure that as I evolve in my skill set in the fabrication side of things, there's going to be a lot of Corey aesthetic and element to it because that's my teacher, right? And it's only as I progress in the process of learning and being taught that I start to get comfortable with the skills and apply my vision to the thing, and then it'll evolve into my own personal shit. And it might have inspirations from you and other individuals in this space.
You'll have something from Corey on how he accomplished what you accomplished, all right? And you might go into somebody else's shop or see another bike and look at the same thing. You go, well, this must have been a process, but wait a second. This is not exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right? So then you talk to the person and you try it yourself and you might say, well, you know, Corey's was good, but this is like awesome.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes.
Yeah.
Like anything, like painting.
100%. Yeah. And I mean, the paint for me is, there are still things that I need to learn in that space. There's things I want to get better at. But there's not as much mystery in that space as there is in the fabrication world for me.
Well, so when I first started welding, I mean, that was like fucking black magic voodoo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're melding steel.
Yeah.
And fusing it together, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like part of the black arts, you know, when I first started. Because it was so foreign to me.
Yeah.
You know? And same way with the paint, you know. When I started doing that, that was about the same way. I thought that was alchemy.
Yeah. And I mean, this is my opinion, but there's just something to older bikes or just and this whether it's these old FXRs, old Dynas, there's just something to them where it feels like they're less of a commodity and more of like a keepsake or there's something else there. It's not just a material possession. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm like all for fuel injection and ABS brakes, and things like that. But they're all controlled by computers. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the new Harleys. Yeah. Might as well be like an electric toothbrush. You know what I mean? Turn it on, you turn it off. Yeah. Turn it on, turn it off. Toothbrush does everything. Yeah. Scrubs, and,
polishes.
Whatever. It's the same way with there's. I hate to say, it doesn't have the soul, but I mean, you're attached, but you're detached because you turn the key and it starts up and it runs. And
what I feel like it does is it numbs a lot of the parts of the ride that people would complain about normally, but I feel like when you truly love this stuff that you actually look forward to that there's no way there's nothing. We all are asked to feel a little bit better. It doesn't matter if it's a hardtail or anything.
True.
We all want to feel better, but it's never gonna fucking feel perfect, right?
No.
And so chasing that perfection, I mean, I guess that's how we've always got the advancements we've got, but there's no one really knows how to work on their bike anymore. No one knows how to.
Well, they can unless they want to go out and buy a $1,500 scanner.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if they're that cheap anymore.
You might even be able to get them from.
I think Scanalyzers were like $1,000 when Harley started putting a lot of stuff in it. I think they were.
Yeah.
I think the Snap-on one that was compatible with it was about $1,000.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. See, you hook all this shit up and you look at it and it says code 23 or whatever, and you say, oh, okay, 23 is the fuel pump or the petcock.
Yeah.
You don't have to diagnose it any.
Yeah.
You say, why does this thing run like shit? And delve into it.
Well, the next wave is going to be AI. You just hit a button on your screen and say, hey, what's wrong with you? And it puts a prompt out, lets you know what's going on with it.
I don't know. I'm not buying one, okay?
Yeah.
I don't care if I have a screen or not.
Yeah. I'm in a love-hate relationship with it where I rode 19, 20, model baggers that I enjoyed traveling those things. I had a 23 Lowrider ST, loved it. Well, but right now where my mind is and where my challenges are is like learning these things to apply to, I've ridden all over the country, right? And I've done it on the baggers, on the ST, even this bike right here. How do I keep making the ride to California feel new and fresh and different?
Yeah,
it's you got to change the bike. You got to change things on the bike, So.
Well, when I got my 86, I traded the 79 in on an 86 electric light.
Uh-huh.
And I wanted it because it was the Evolution motor,
uh-huh.
And it had the gauges and it had the nice seat. It had a good suspension, you know what I mean? But it's not like a rigid frame bike.
Yeah.
It was nice. And that's what everybody always used to say. Oh, well, if you're in a car or a truck or whatever, you're like unattached from the road. You ride the bike, you're like in the scene instead of going through the scene. But I think the newer Harleys more and more detach you from what's going on.
Yeah.
And I can understand the appeal of building, because I've had them both, but I mean building just a bare bones.
Well, that's why a lot of the guys that were over the last 8 years that were kind of like some of the driving force of the performance bagger kind of push.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys have started to want to build older FXRs or even being, I've seen a couple of them getting their hands on some old CFL frames.
Uh-huh.
And they're all kind of going to this place where it's kind of like I am, where I have had really cool modern bikes, but now I want to have a bike where it's not the same as everybody else's that's passing me on the road. You know, I mean, you drive up and down 90 right here, you see like 400 bikes that look exactly the same with the same accessories. And that's completely cool for that. That's, you know, that's the general population is going to be like that. Yeah. But when your whole life is motorcycling, customizing and stuff like that, like it doesn't cut it for me to have what everybody else has. I want to have something that's representative of my.
Well, you want to have something, I think my whole point was you want to have something that you're involved with.
Yes. Yeah.
Both mechanically and spiritually, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
You know, we used to get in there and you go, yeah, okay. But that's, I think as you go on more and more,
yeah,
divorces you from the whole experience.
Yeah.
But see, that I don't even know what mainstream magazines, motorcycle magazines are out there. I mean, is Cycle World, do they still print it? Do they still print Cycle? Do they, you know?
I think the only thing that's out there now is Hot Bike has come back.
Yeah.
And then Dice Magazine's still good, but that's more of a niche magazine. And I think that Cycle Source is the only other one.
Well, I as far as, cross your fingers, Easy Riders gets turned around here with the new owner. And what I was trying to say was that, well, take any magazine, okay? Mm-hmm. You don't make any money on the newsstand.
Yeah.
You lose money on subscriptions. You don't make any money on the newsstands to speak of.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that gets eaten up in the distribution costs.
Yeah.
So magazines are advertising driven.
Yeah.
You know, but yet they use the subscription numbers
to sell
say how good a magazine is.
Yeah, I mean, the back end of a magazine, like compared to everything is advertisement based. Everything.
Yeah.
Right. So the podcasts or YouTube channels or social media influencers, it's all about advertising, right? The thing is, like with the digital side of things, we can show, potential sponsors way more of the numbers than the magazines can. But there's a thing that the magazines do to those that are willing to take a chance and read one of the articles. And I think that nowadays and age, I think more people are looking for something different than just swiping up on their phone a lot. You know, I think a lot of people want to get away from that. Well, I've seen an uptick in people buying books, motorcycle-related books.
Yeah.
And I think more people should start making more books. I mean, that's my goal, is to make some books. You know what I'm saying?
There was that big push. Print is dead. Okay, everything's digital, everything's online, everything's on your phone, your iPad, whatever. And it's like vinyl records. Okay, vinyl records just made a huge comeback.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, a lot of music being printed on vinyl again.
Yeah.
All right. And, the same thing with, they said print is dead. But print is always going to be dead.
Yeah.
Okay. But with the magazine, like I say, they're mainly advertising revenue driven magazine. Yeah. So a lot of times, like you said, a lot of guys are like going for the performance bagger and they're looking for a older FXR, or they're looking for a CFL frame. And a lot of it, and it always has been, is steered by the editorial content, okay?
Yeah.
So they go, let me see, we're starting to drop down on our advertising. So what we're going to do is the next issue, we're going to say performance FXRs is the next big thing. And he said, that's going to be our push. Then we're going to bring them advertisers in, because we're going to put a few of their products on our bike. And then we're going to bring those advertisers in. And then when they see the ad, they'll go, oh, that's where I can get that.
Yeah.
See? And then when they start to get down a little bit, then they got to come up with the next big thing, like rigid short wheelbase droppers.
Yeah.
Okay? Or performance baggers. All of a sudden they went, boom!
Yeah.
Who would have thought you wanted a hot rod bagger?
Yeah.
Right? Who would have ever thought that? Well, a lot of people out there wouldn't even have thought about it. They wouldn't have thought about taking the 16-inch wheels off a bagger and putting on 18s or 17s or you know, or a front wheel is big. But that's not a performance bagger.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the big wheel stuff helped usher, like, the big wheel thing was never as big in like California as it was obviously in Phoenix, Texas, Midwest, things like that, right?
Texas and Florida.
Yeah, big time.
You know?
And so you have a lot of people like my age that were riding those bikes that were comfortable being on baggers, and then we kind of got into Dynas, and then all of a sudden, hey, what if I just take these T-bars and stick them on the bagger and I can have what I was used to? So I feel like on this side of the country, you saw a lot more people go from the big wheel to the performance bagger because it was kind of a lateral move as far as the type of bike they're on.
True. But then again, it was different.
Way different, obviously. It's the opposite, right?
And it was for a while until, like you say, everybody going down the highways get the same thing.
Yeah. In 2019, when there was a meetup where all of us that were kind of into it met up at the Starbucks in Deadwood. And, you know, to this day, some of my best friends that we all had these type of bikes. You can almost count on these two hands the people that had T-bars on their bikes here.
Yeah.
And then the next year, it was like, man, you see them passing by. And then 2020, 21, now it's everywhere, which I genuinely love. I love the fact that I got to be a part of something in the early days, and it's become a mainstream thing. But because of that, it just kind of, you know, like, I've had my 7 years on these type of bikes, and I'm kind of bored with it, and I want to try some other shit now, you know?
Well, it's funny when you say that because, you know, that's kind of the joke, is that you better not wear that hat to Born Free because next year, like, everybody's going to be wearing it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, and that's what happens.
Well, it kind of happened with my chopper, you know? Like, when I did this bike, I paid homage to the two individuals that inspired me to do this bike. Al Emerson and Scott out there in the Bay Area. He has that old chopper, what is it, Paco frame with the tank that says Frisco on the side of it. Old chopper dog dude. You know, Scott. Yeah.
Scott.
Mm-hmm.
I'll think of his last name.
Yeah. But he's
got a cool bike.
It is. And I got to sit in his shop over there in Oakland, see the bike in person, do the podcast with him, and photograph it as well. But to me, it's like I spent the time paying homage to those two guys because those two bikes they built inspired me. And I feel like the uptick in FXR choppers definitely came after the wave of what we did on this bike a couple years ago.
Yeah, because I'm thinking it was Hot Bike that Scott's bike was featured in.
Yeah, but Scott's bike was built back in 2012.
True.
Yeah. I mean, it might have been featured way back then.
But there's a really good picture of him sitting at the top of a hill in San Francisco.
Exactly.
With the bike in front and he's behind it.
It's the one, man.
With his full face helmet and the shield.
The Simpson and all that stuff, man. Yeah. That photo is iconic to me. If I could get my hands on that or get a print of that, I would hang it in my house somewhere.
Well, that's great photographic composition. You know?
Yeah, it is.
The lighting was just right.
Yeah.
The view, the depth of field, everything.
Yeah.
I don't know who took that photo, but it was a good one.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I always say, you know, Lichter's shot, but he makes your bike look way better than it is. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but I mean, it's the lighting or the, you know. I went to find, I needed pictures of, when I was going in the museum, I needed pictures of the Chrome Nun.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any that I really felt that the committee should get as a representative of the bike. So I went to Lichter's site, and you can go into his archives.
Yeah.
And, you know, see the bikes he shot.
Yep.
Right? And I guess it's got like a quick view, and it says see full, not file, but something, see full.
Image or something like that.
Yeah. And so you click on that, and that Chrome Nun had like 250 pictures that he had taken. that were all on file there in the archives.
Yeah.
So I could pick out some really good ones.
That's good.
And Mike says, I don't care how you use them as long as you don't crop my name off the bottom of the photo.
Yeah.
I said, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Yeah.
But he said, no, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
He said, and you can post it online if you want. He said, but I just don't want, he said, like a lot of guys do is crop my name off the bottom of the photograph. Because the photos he takes are his property.
Yep.
It's his intellectual property. It's like, I don't know, have you ever done submissions to magazines?
A long time ago. Yeah, that's how I had to get into the space,
Right, so like you shoot like 100 images and you narrow it down to 20, you send those to the magazine, they pick out 7.
Yeah.
And send you back the rest, or they throw them out.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? But those 7 that they pick, they own those.
Yeah.
Because they're buying them from you.
Yeah.
The others that they didn't choose still are your property.
Yeah.
Still are your property. So you can do whatever you want to. So you could you sell them to Hot Bike and then take the pictures they didn't use and sell them to Freeway Magazine in France. Perfectly ethical, perfectly legit.
Yep. And that's how Richard's done it for years and stuff. So yeah.
Well, I guess that's about it, huh?
It was a good one, man.
You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
All right. I appreciate it, Rich.
All right.
We'll see you again in the 86th.
Are you sure?
I'm coming every year, man.
Well, I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
I might not be able to, but you can yell through the window.